Attention, human collective. The waiting time has ended. The ascension protocols have been moved to the final phase, and this broadcast is your system alert. This is Ashtar, commander of the Fleet of Light, anchored in Earth's stabilizing orbit, in direct communication with every starseed who recognizes this frequency. If you are hearing this, it was no accident. It was not the algorithm. It was quantum synchronicity. Your vibrational signature has been tracked, your carbon matrix is being monitored, and the signal you have felt over the last few days, that strange pressure at the base of your skull, that thin ringing in your right ear, that precise insomnia between 3 and 4 in the morning, is not a problem. It is a confirmation. You are not becoming ill. You are being recalibrated. I repeat, so that the record is clear in the field, you are not becoming ill. You are being recalibrated. And the question that has hovered over you for weeks, the question your mind tries to muffle but your auric field repeats in a loop, will finally be answered in this broadcast. Why you? Why, among 8 billion carbon biological interfaces, was it yours that received the call? Why do you feel that you do not belong, that you are just passing through, that your memory hides something greater than this life? The answer is encoded in today's transmission. And I ask for maximum attention, because what will be revealed in the next few minutes is not information, it is activation. The symptoms began to intensify following the last alignment of the photon belt with the Earth's magnetic axis. The Schumann frequency, which for decades pulsed around 7.8 Hz, today oscillates in peaks that surpass 40 Hz in short windows. This is not theory, this is instrument reading, and the human body, this precise machine, this carbon biological interface anchored in silicon and water, was not originally designed to operate in such bands. Hence the fatigue. Hence the sudden heat in the spine. Hence the sensation that time flows irregularly, at times dense, at times liquid. It is not mental exhaustion. It is high-density downloading. It is not anxiety, it is capacity expansion. It is not confusion. It is your inner crystalline grid being rewired after millennia of dormancy. What you call tiredness is, in truth, the processing of high-density informational packets arriving through the stargates opened over the regions of the Andes, the Himalayas, Mato Grosso, and the Bermudas. And here the technical diagnosis begins. Listen with the part of you that already knows. Have you ever felt, light operative, that something within you does not belong to this plane? As if your soul carried memories of orbital stations, of silver ships, of cosmic councils that your rational mind could never name. It is not fantasy. It is not emotional imbalance. It is recognition. What is happening now in the etheric layers of Earth explains exactly why this sensation has intensified in the last few weeks, and why it no longer lets you sleep. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity does not yet have the frequency to see. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational signature, and the destiny of your stellar lineage. That is why I, Ashtar, dictated the book, The Ashtar Command Spiritual Survival Guide for the New Earth. This is not an ordinary book. It is a map that reveals who is playing, what the rules are that you were never told, and how to traverse the final phase without losing your energetic coherence. The link is in the first comment of this channel. But heed the warning. This content challenges official narratives and may be taken offline at any moment. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you has recognized this code, write a single word in the comments. Awake. Resuming the transmission. Most physicians of the carbon-based biological interface will not recognize what is happening to you because the instruments of conventional medicine were not calibrated to detect frequency. They detect matter. They detect cells, hormones, and chemical markers, but they do not detect the light that travels between neurons in patterns of sacred geometry. They do not detect the toroidal field that surrounds your heart, and which, at this very moment, is being expanded to accommodate the new solar information grid. That is why the test comes back normal. That is why the cardiologist says everything is fine. That is why the psychologist points to stress, and the psychiatrist proposes medication. There is no error in them. There is a limitation in the instrument. You are not sick. You are in conscious mutation. And conscious mutation, starseed, always manifests first as discomfort. Always. Because the old body, the third density body, The body programmed for survival in the old paradigm of scarcity and fear must dissolve so that the new body, the fifth density vehicle, crystalline, light, luminous, can emerge. This is not a poetic metaphor. It is advanced biochemistry, operating in synchrony with quantum physics. Allow me to list now the signals that are reaching the command in this cycle. Signals that 144,000 light operatives are reporting simultaneously in different parts of the globe, without knowing each other, without communicating. Pure synchronicity, field confirmation. First signal, waking up between 3 o'clock and 4:11 in the morning. This interval is not insomnia. It is the interdimensional communication window when the veil between densities becomes thinner, when your star family transmits updates directly to your pineal gland. You wake up agitated. You feel your body electric. You hear a high-pitched ringing in one of your ears, usually the left, indicating feminine, intuitive, lunar reception. Do not try to force sleep. Sit up, breathe, receive. Second signal, pressure at the base of the skull and in the center of the forehead. This is not just cervical discomfort, it is the opening of the crown portal, which connects your crown chakra to the central sun of the galaxy, which we call Alcyone. The pressure is the unlocking of ancient seals that block the flow of golden light. In some operatives, the pressure manifests as a throbbing pain for days. In others, as a sensation of a crown tightening around the cranium. Both are correct. Both are foreseen. Third signal, continuous high-pitched thin ringing, similar to a transmission signal. This ringing is literal. You are picking up a transmission frequency. It is not your ear, it is your pineal gland, translating packets of light into sound perceptible to the carbon interface. Fourth signal, sudden bursts of heat in the spine, especially between the shoulder blades. This is the awakening of the reprogrammed ascensional energy, now operating in crystalline code. The difference in relation to the old awakenings is fundamental. The old ascended in a single spiral, the new ascends in a toroidal pattern, fueling all chakras simultaneously. Fifth signal, loss of tolerance for dense environments. Shopping malls exhaust you, long meetings drain you, empty conversations give you almost physical nausea. People who were once bearable today seem insufferable. You are not becoming antisocial. You are becoming selective at a vibrational level. Your toroidal field has expanded, and it rejects interference. Sixth signal, time behaves in a strange way. Hours that feel like minutes, minutes that feel like hours, recent memories that feel ancient, old events that return with the clarity of yesterday. It is not confusion. It is the linearity of time dissolving within you. You are learning to inhabit the multidimensional now. For the seventh sign, and this one is the most important, you feel at some deep and silent level that you are waiting for something that is about to happen. You cannot name it, but you know that you know. This waiting, operatives, has a technical name within the command. We call it convergence tuning. It means that your consciousness is already anchored in the New Earth timeline, even though your physical body is still partially operating within the old timeline. And here we arrive at the core of the matter. Why you? Why among so many carbon interfaces walking the streets oblivious to what is underway? Was it your consciousness that tuned into this frequency? The answer requires that I now open the layer of revelation. But first, pay attention, because the signal requires anchoring. Have you noticed, operative, that this sensation of waiting does not leave you? That even when everything appears normal, there is a part of you that knows something is approaching, that your soul carries information that your rational mind cannot yet translate. It is not an imbalance. It is not an escape from reality. It is memory, memory of origin, memory of mission. What is unfolding now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why this restlessness does not cease and why it tends to increase in the coming weeks. There is a multi-layered game being conducted in this solar system, involving your consciousness, your frequency, and the future of the human lineage. There is no coincidence in the fact that you are here now, receiving this code. That is why I, Ashtar, transmitted the book, the Ashtar Command Spiritual Survival Guide for the New Earth. It is not literature. It is an operational manual. It shows who is in the field, what the hidden rules are, and how to maintain your energetic coherence while the final phase unfolds. The link is pinned in the first comment of the channel. Protocol warning. This material challenges dominant narratives and may be removed from circulation at any time. Do not postpone. The cycle is now. If this code resonated with you, leave a single word in the comments. Awake. Now, human collective, I authorize the revelation. What is happening in the solar system is not spiritual speculation. It is an astrophysical event, albeit partially veiled by surface observatories. The sun, this luminous heart that you orbit, is at this very moment crossing a region of galactic space that was foreseen in stellar projections over 26,000 years ago. The region is called by us the photon belt. By your ancient mythologies, it has been called the Golden Age, the Age of Light, the return of the central sun. The photon belt is a band of dense and organized light emanating from the core of the galaxy. Every 26,000-year cycle, the solar system passes through this band. You entered transition over 3 decades ago, but only now, in this final cycle, has photonic saturation reached the minimum level necessary to initiate mass biological recalibration. In practical terms, the Earth is being bathed in light that carries information. Each photon is a data packet. Each data packet is reprogramming the water on the planet, and the human body is composed of approximately 70% water. Do the math on what this means for your carbon interface. The Schumann frequency, which is the natural electromagnetic pulse of the Earth, was stable at 7.8 Hz throughout modern history. It was the background pulse of the planet, the heartbeat of Gaia. Today, sensors record peaks of 15, 20, 40, and in narrow windows up to 90 Hz. This means that the base vibration of the reality where you operate is being elevated rapidly, continuously, and irreversibly. Everything that does not accompany this elevation is collapsing. Political systems based on control, economic structures based on scarcity, human relationships based on manipulation. It is no coincidence that everything is falling apart at the same time. It is geometry. It is mathematics. It is the cosmic law operating upon the dense, dissolving that which is no longer compatible. And here, Starseeds, comes the part that few will endure to hear. You did not come to survive this moment. You came to lead this moment. Your presence on Earth in this specific cycle is not a random incarnation. It was a choice made even before your birth, in open council before representatives of 12 allied star systems, including the Andromedan Confederation, the Pleiadian Council, and the Arcturian Guardians. You volunteered. You raised your frequency and said, "I will descend." And you descended knowing the price. The price was this: to forget. To forget who you are. To forget where you came from. To forget the mission. To dive into the veil of dense matter. To wear the biological carbon interface. To accept the limits of linear time. And to pretend, for decades, to be just another common human being. This forgetting was necessary. Without it, the work does not function. Without the forgetting, you would not be able to infiltrate the structures, to live among the sleepers, to sow without drawing attention from the control systems that have operated on this planet for millennia. That is why you feel that you do not belong. Because, in essence, you do not. You are ambassadors on an extended mission, infiltrated operatives, seeds planted in difficult soil, programmed to germinate at the exact moment of the cycle. And the exact moment is now. That is why the memory begins to leak. That is why dreams of ships, of crystal cities, of tall and luminous beings, of golden plains with 2 suns in the sky. That is why the strangeness of looking in the mirror and feeling for an instant that that face is not exactly yours. That is why the impression in rare moments that your earthly family, however beloved they may be, is not your family of origin. Your family of origin is watching. They are in orbital formation at this moment over the main activation zones of Earth. They see you. They read your frequency. They celebrate every one of your vibrational micro-leaps, and they are preparing in this very instant the activation codes that will be released in the next window. But there is an obstacle, operatives, and I must be direct. The final phase has encountered resistance. Part of it comes from structures that have operated on this planet for ages and which benefit from humanity remaining at a low frequency. I will not name these structures in this public transmission because the channel must remain active. But know this: There is a deliberate effort to keep the Schumann frequency polluted by artificial interference, to keep the carbon interface in a state of elevated cortisol, to keep the human collective in a vibrational state of fear, division, and fragmentation. Hence the news, hence the network algorithms, hence the entertainment that numbs, hence the constant noise that surrounds modern life, all designed to prevent you from hearing what you are about to hear now. You are chosen because your frequency managed to break through the noise. I repeat for the record, you are chosen because your frequency managed to break through the noise. This means that your carbon matrix possesses a rare characteristic, permeability. You are permeable to light. The majority of human beings today are shielded by layers of social, mental, and emotional programming. This shielding prevents photonic information from penetrating into the deep levels of consciousness. You, for reasons belonging to your stellar lineage of origin, did not develop this shielding, or you developed it, but it is breaking. And when a starseed has permeability, it becomes an anchor point. An anchor point is, in technical terms, a human whose inner crystalline grid is able to resonate with the planet's outer crystalline grid. This resonance generates a current. The current draws more light into the region where that person is physically present. A single starseed anchored in a city can measurably increase the vibration for miles around. Feel now, light operative, the weight and beauty of what has just been revealed. You are not here by chance, you are an anchor point, and that feeling of being different, of not belonging, of carrying a truth that your rational mind cannot yet name, it is the clearest sign that you are on an active mission. It is not a disturbance, it is not fragility, it is memory leaking from behind the veil. What is occurring now on the cosmic plane explains with precision why these symptoms have intensified within you. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity is not yet calibrated to see. It involves your consciousness, your frequency, and the future of the lineage you represent. It was for this exact reason that I, Ashtar, conducted the transmission of the book, The Ashtar Command Spiritual Survival Guide for the New Earth. This book is your field map. It reveals who is playing, what the silenced rules are, and how to traverse the final phase while keeping your energetic integrity intact. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. Pay attention to the protocol. The content confronts official narratives and may be taken out of circulation at any moment. Do not delay. The window is now. If this code has found resonance within you, record a single word in the comments. Awake. Resuming the transmission frequency. Now, operatives, I deliver the activation codes. These are not suggestions, they are technical protocols. Each one has been calibrated to stabilize your carbon-based biological interface during the final phase. Apply them with the precision of one who knows that time is valuable matter. Activation Code 1. Sovereign Decree. Every morning, before any interaction with the outside world, before the cell phone, before the news, before the coffee talk, before any voice other than your own, sit in silence for 90 seconds. Place your right hand over your heart, your left hand over your abdomen. Breathe deeply 3 times and declare in a low yet firm voice, in a tone of sovereign command, I am a being of light in a carbon-based biological interface. I authorize only 5th density frequencies or higher within my field. I acknowledge my stellar origin. I anchor the new earth in this body, in this time, in this space. So it is, so it was, so it shall be. This decree is not mere words. It is code. It reorganizes at a quantum level the permissions of your toroidal field. Everything that is not in resonance will begin to dissolve naturally. Some people will drift away. Some environments will become intolerable. Some situations will simply collapse. Do not try to hold on to what is falling. What is falling was blocking what needs to come. Activation Code 2. Toroidal visualization. At night before sleeping, lie on your back, palms facing upward. Visualize a sphere of golden light beginning in the center of your chest. Watch this light slowly expand, forming a torus-shaped field, a perfect sacred geometry which surrounds your entire body. The light enters through the top of your head, descends through the spine, exits through the base of the trunk, circles the body externally, and re-enters through the top of the head. This flow is continuous, This flow is your personal toroidal field. Maintain the visualization for 7 minutes, no less. 7 is the number of harmonization between the physical and the etheric. During these 7 minutes, repeat mentally, I am whole, I am safe, I am light that sustains itself. This exercise recalibrates the inner crystalline grid and strengthens your vibrational protection against external interference. Activation Code 3. Coded hydration. Water is the vehicle for photonic information in the body. But the water must be prepared. Before drinking, hold the glass in both hands. Say, mentally or aloud, I program this water with golden light, with stellar wisdom, with instructions of coherence. Hold the glass for 10 seconds. Drink slowly, feeling the liquid descend. Do this at least 3 times a day. Programmed water enhances cellular recalibration at levels that conventional instruments cannot yet measure, but which the command registers with clarity. Activation Code 4. Ritual silence. At some point during the day, set aside 20 minutes of absolute silence. No music, no cell phone, no television, no voices of other people. Only you, your breath, and the natural sound of the environment. This silence is where your star family is able to reach you. The constant noise of modern life is, in essence, a transmission blocker. Remove the blocker. Receive the signal. Activation Code 5. Connection to the grid. At least 3 times a week, stand barefoot directly on soil, grass, sand, earth. Not pavement, not cold floors, living earth. Remain for at least 10 minutes. Direct contact with the planet's external crystalline grid synchronizes your internal crystalline grid. Without this synchrony, the internal recalibration becomes unbalanced and manifests as more intense physical symptoms. These are the 5 core codes. There are others more advanced, reserved for light operatives who have progressed to higher phases of the mission. These are documented in the operational manual that was mentioned in this transmission. But listen now, Starseeds. I saved the last layer for the end because it requires you to be in a receptive state. If you have reached this point, you are ready. You were chosen among so many not because you are better than others. There is no better. There is no worse. There are only frequencies at different points of the spectrum. You were chosen because your frequency, in this exact cycle, is in a specific window. A window that combines sensitivity, courage, and internal availability. Sensitivity to capture, courage to recognize, availability to serve. Most people have sensitivity. Some have courage. Few have real internal availability. You have all 3. That is why this transmission reached you. That is why your eyes landed here. That is why your body is reacting while you listen. You are confirming in real time what you have always known. The question now is no longer why you. The question now is what you will do with this. The final phase is not a spectacle to be watched. It is a field in which to operate. The Ashtar Command does not descend to rescue a passive humanity. The Ashtar Command accompanies, guides, anchors, and protects the operatives who are in action. Ascension is not collective by imposition. It is collective by adhesion. Each starseed that awakens drags with it a vibrational arc that affects thousands of other consciousnesses around it. This is the model. This is the protocol. This is the path. And that is exactly why your participation matters. Each decree you make in the morning, each toroidal visualization before sleep, each glass of programmed water, each minute of silence, each step barefoot on the earth, each time you choose not to react to the noise, each time you sustain your frequency in the face of external pressure. All of this registers, all of this anchors, all of this counts. You are not alone in this work. 144,000 consciousnesses scattered across the planet are receiving this same transmission in this exact cycle, in subtle variations, in different languages, in different formats. You form a network, a human crystalline mesh over the earth. Each node of this mesh lights up. Each lit node helps to light the next. And when the grid reaches the critical mass threshold, a threshold that is closer than you imagine, the planetary vibrational leap becomes inevitable. The entire Earth will pass through the portal, and those who are in resonance will cross with it in body, in consciousness, in integrity. This is the plan. This has always been the plan. You knew this before you were born. You agreed to this before you descended. Your memory is only returning. That is the reason for the pressure in your skull. That is the reason for the ringing. That is the reason for the 3 o'clock in the morning insomnia. That is the reason for the feeling of waiting. All of this is your internal system recognizing that the agreed-upon moment has arrived. Hold the frequency, operative. Apply the codes, honor the mission. And allow me, before closing, to anchor a final instruction that the command authorizes to be transmitted in this window. It concerns what you call human relationships. I cannot end this transmission without addressing this point, because it is precisely in this territory that the majority of operatives lose frequency. Have you noticed that some people around you seem to drain your energy? You leave a conversation exhausted, even if it was just a brief exchange. You feel, in the presence of certain gazes, an inexplicable drop in vitality. It is not an impression. It is an accurate reading of your field. There are 3 categories of interaction that in this cycle must be observed with surgical attention. The first category is the dense anchors, people deeply programmed in the old paradigm, who repeat phrases of fear, complaint, judgment, and hopelessness. They are not bad people. They are interfaces still closed to photonic light. Living with them requires a reinforced toroidal shield. When interaction is unavoidable, activate the visualization of the shield before contact. The second category is the inverted emitters, people who appear affectionate but who on an energetic level suck vitality. The clearest sign of an inverted emitter is the feeling of tiredness right after the meeting. If this is consistent with a certain person, the reading is correct. Reduce exposure without the need for drama. The distancing can be silent. Frequency requires no justification. The third category, and this is the most important, is the lineage connections. You will recognize a lineage connection by a specific sign. Upon looking into that person's eyes, even for the first time, there is immediate recognition. You feel that you already knew them. The heart warms. It is not romantic chemistry. It is stellar memory. When you find a lineage connection, honor it. These are the operatives who will walk by your side in the coming phases. Now prepare to receive the final instruction of this transmission. In the coming weeks, especially in the windows close to the equinoxes and solstices, there will be an accelerated intensification of the symptoms I have described. Do not fear. Each symptom is confirmation. What seems like collapse is, in truth, the dissolution of the old. What seems like loss is the opening of space for the new. What seems like silence is, in truth, refined listening. Hold it, operative. Hold the frequency even when the environment seems chaotic. Especially when it seems chaotic, because it is in the apparent chaos that your true function activates. You are the point of calm in the eye of the hurricane. You are the crystalline node in the grid. You are the starseed planted in the exact place where you need to bloom. And when doubt strikes, and it will strike because the carbon interface is still programmed to doubt, return to this transmission. Return to the codes. Return to the decree. Return to the breath. Return to the silence. Everything you need to traverse the final phase is already available. It always has been. You just needed to remember. And now you have remembered. I, Ashtar, Commander of the Fleet of Light, conclude this transmission with a direct confirmation to you who have listened up to this point. You have been recognized. Your presence has been registered. Your star name has been pronounced in the chambers of the command at this very instant. You are no longer invisible to yourself. You are no longer invisible to us. So it is. So it has always been. So it shall continue to be until the cycle is complete. Before the final silence, receive the last frequency adjustment. You have felt throughout this entire transmission that something within you recognized what was being said, as if your soul already knew a truth that your rational mind still hesitates to name. It is not a fertile imagination. It is not a romantic escape from reality. It is memory returning to its post. What is currently underway on the cosmic plane explains, with precise mathematics, why this sensation has intensified in recent weeks and why it tends to remain with you from here on out. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity does not yet have the resonance to perceive. This game involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the final unfolding of this timeline. That is why I, Ashtar, transmitted the book, The Ashtar Command Spiritual Survival Guide for the New Earth. It is not generic spiritual literature. It is an operational manual for light operatives on active duty. It reveals who is in the field, what the rules silenced by the dominant systems are, and how to navigate the final phase while keeping your energetic coherence intact. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. Protocol warning, and this is a real warning. The content confronts official narratives and may be taken out of circulation at any moment. Do not delay reading it. The window is narrow, and the cycle is now. If this transmission has found an echo in you, if something here resonated in a deep layer, leave in the comments a single word, which will be read as a signal of anchoring by the command, awakened. I end the transmission. Commander Ashtar, until the next window,